Okay, folks, my name is Jeffrey Scott Myers. Like I always say in all my videos, I'm a first-year doctorate student at Quantum University, working on my doctorate in quantum physics integrative medicine. And I also use 19 different scientific principles to bring the body back into wholeness and healing. This video, excuse me, is called The Rebuilding of a Human Being. Okay, there's a way to rebuild you back to health again, just so you know. And some of the things you hear will be repeated from other videos, just because repetition is reinforcement. It's important for everybody to know this stuff. When it comes to rebuilding, you need to start from the top to the bottom. It's called downward causation, starting from the mind and working way down. Not as the medical model and conventional medicine is. They are upward causation, working from the ground up, materialist, reductionist, determinist. It doesn't work that way. It works from the mind down. It's really important to understand that everything starts in the mind-body connection. Finally, some are starting to catch up to this. The traditional Chinese medicine had this figured out over 5,000 years ago. Like I've said before, I don't know what's going on with conventional medicine, but it doesn't work, as you know. It's important to be aware of everything. Everything happens at a quantum level, okay? That's where things happen, is at a quantum level. I mean, this is just, the invisible always becomes the visible. This is just how things work. Cells, vibration, hormones, enzymes, waves, chemistry, DNA, molecules, thoughts, genes, fatty acids, amino acids, nucleic acids. Okay, everything happens on a quantum level when it comes to healing and sickness and illness in the body. It cannot start anywhere else. That's where it all starts, at a subatomic level. So it's just, like I said, and all disease is cell disease. I cannot state that, how important that is. Nobody just has heart disease or lung disease. You have heart cell disease, liver cell disease, skin cell disease, brain cell disease. And whether it's going to always show up on a quantum level, whether it be physiological, emotional, or mental, it's showing up on the quantum level first. Everything comes down to the cell. And I can't, stress this enough. I mean, we have 50 to 100, I've heard Bolt say 100 trillion cells in our body, and we have about 50 quadrillion reactions going on every second in the cell. Okay, this is just mind-boggling. It's just unbelievable, and all the cells communicate at the same time. So imagine 100 trillion entities, all a conscious being, communicating through wave function all at the same time. Okay, this is just how things work. The cells communicate through structured information and energy. Vibration carries instruction. Instructions tell the cells what to do. This is the innate life force that, it just can't be explained. But it's there. And then we have a cell membrane that reads the environment, which is 1,000 times thinner than a piece of notebook paper. Reading the environment. Just some examples of how amazing the cell is. The mitochondria in the cell, and there's thousands of mitochondria, 50,000 times smaller than an ant. Okay, if you can imagine this, and the cell has thousands of different organelles, channels, gates, receptors. Thousands of the receptors receive all kinds of different chemical messengers. 6 million moving parts, about 2 million cells turn over per second, reading off my notes here because I take a lot of notes, about 200 billion red blood cells a day regenerate, because we're always constantly breaking down and growing. It's balance. 6 million moving parts. DNA codes as fast as a jet engine when DNA is spinning and coding. That's how fast this is moving. And it's using, like I said, the cell is a conscious being. You can take, like Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, you can take the nucleus and the DNA out of a cell and it still functions and divides. Okay, there's an intelligence there, which, like I said, is carried by is through energy. You have energy, creates vibration. Vibration carries structured information for the cell to do what it does, how to use the cell. So, and I mean, and you could fit 100 cells on the tip of this pen, 100 cells, and all that's going on, all you could fit 100 on the tip of a pen. And like I said, everything's going to show up sooner or later, whether it be physiological, emotional, or mental. That information is going to show up in one way or another, and that's how disease shows up, basically. You know, and it's important to have awareness of this. This is going on. Rebuilding the human being. Okay, we have to go from catabolic to anabolic to a state of growth. Everything is about growth. Okay. Physiologically, emotionally, mentally, everything is about growth. Entropy versus centropy. We don't want things breaking down. We want things building up. And here's the way that we do it. And also, one important point to point out is, especially when we're healing, there's something called a healing crisis that the body goes through, detoxing, and when you're healing. And everybody's always fighting the body. You'll never win, okay? The body runs off 95% subconscious. We try to fight with our tiny little 2 to 5% conscious mind, trying to fight the body, okay? You're never going to win fighting the body when it comes to sickness. You're never going to win. That's just the battle that you won't win. You got 95% versus 5%. And the subconscious mind processes about 40 bits of information per second. The conscious mind, the subconscious mind, 40 million bits per second. Okay, look at what you're dealing with. When it comes to healing, what I find with clients, with people, you got to be all in, man. Okay, if you're coming in willy-nilly, half-assed, this isn't going to work. It just doesn't work. You have to be all in. Forget about everything you've heard, everything you know. You need to be completely open-minded, and you need to be all in. The ones that heal are the ones that are done. They're done being sick. You surrender and you're done. You just can take no more and you're done. And that's when you heal. Another problem, I'm not going to get into this now, is people identifying with the disease. This is a huge, huge, huge problem. Identifying with your disease. When you identify with your disease, that's where you place your awareness and that's where you place your energy. So when you're identifying that you are your disease, then that energy goes there versus healing, because that's what you're constantly aware of. I mean, I've seen, hashtags and shirts and tattoos and holidays and just I can't get into all that now, but it's absolutely insanity. So it's important to keep your awareness on healing, not on your disease. One thing too with healing, rebuilding the human being, is you have to have a healthy environment. Your external environment has to be healthy. You can't be living in a toxic environment and expect to heal. Abuse, things going on, high levels of stress. It's just not going to work. If you watch my other video on stress, the body shuts down. It's just, there's all kinds of problems that go along with that. You just got to be basically greater than your environment. I hope a lot of this makes sense, because it's the way things work. And if you continue to just go to the conventional medical model for your long-term chronic degenerative diseases, you're never going to get better, because they don't understand. It just doesn't work, and it hasn't worked. It's never going to work. That's why what I do works. We have to work on the rebuilding of a human being. We must work on subconscious behaviors. Remember, 95% subconscious, 2 to 5% is conscious behaviors. We need to change subconscious patterns of behaviors that got you to this place got you to where you are, being sick and being ill. Einstein's famous quote, "Can't solve the problem with the same thinking that we used to create the problem." This is it's a big deal. So behavior changes are super important, as well as what a lot of people don't think about is bringing the the heart and the brain coherence. The heart and the brain have their own basically energy sources. Waves of energy come off the heart, waves of energy come off the brain. It's scientifically tested. You can see it. Heart and the brain needs to be in coherence. Okay, you can't be hateful and whatever and expect to jealous, guilt. These problems need to be addressed, because you can't heal. The heart and the brain has to be and coherence. That's why when you're in love, when you first meet somebody, it's the greatest thing ever. You're in single focus. It's the greatest thing in the world. You're in constant, the heart and the brain are working together. They're coherent. So those waves between the two, it's, when you're in love with someone, that's nothing else matters because you're in single focus with that person. Being aware of your thoughts and behaviors, super important. Every day, it can remind you every day to be, your thoughts and choices moment by moment. This is important. And soon you'll establish new habits and new behaviors, and you won't have to think about it. Like, you don't think about. We want to get you to a point where you don't think about it. Like, you don't think about walking. You just get up and walk. Okay, this is a subconscious pattern that we've had since we were born. You could just walk. You don't have to think about it. So changing behaviors to help not have you in the same patterns of your illness are important as well. Dealing with issues of the past are very important. I won't get into much of that. Unresolved issues of the subconscious, past childhood traumas, stresses are really important as well. This is a major part that I work on with people is the thought process and the mind. It's everything. New thought, kind of like a blueprint. Like I've said before, a lot of this is Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. He's a brilliant leader in neuroscience, quantum physics. We all look to our mentors. New choice, new behavior equals new experience, equals new emotion, equals new thought. Where you put your energy is where you put your awareness is where you put your energy. So these things need to be addressed when we're rebuilding somebody back up again. And like I said before, remember every emotion there's a matching chemical to that. Emotions are the end result of chemical signatures of memories, vital to healing. Got to be able to forgive, forget, surrender. Release that negative held energy so that energy can be used for healing. Okay, someone that's constantly angry and mad is never going to. You're not going to heal because that energy is being used for the negativity, guilt, shame, anger, hatred, whatever it is. When that energy should be going to healing. So that's a very important part of growth as well. You just got to let go and kind of start again. Like I always say, as in physics, the body is a unified field. Everything works together. There's no separate parts. Everything works through pathways and systems and feedback loops. And, that's how it is in the biological organism that we are, and any other as well. Matter of fact, another important thing when rebuilding the human being, we got to make sure that the body flows. The body flows, okay? The blood, the lymph, hydrochloric acid, bile, energy, electricity. These things flow through the body. Energy has to be flowing properly through the body, especially the blood. It's called zeta potential. Basically, electricity flows through the blood. If you were to actually be able to look at it, the energy inside the blood would look like small cyclones, small tornadoes. And this is going on. There's a zeta potential that's just going on in the blood. So energy flowing through the blood, delivering nutrients, oxygen, minerals, detoxing as well, which has to do with the lymphatic system. These are very, very important, as well as working on the detox system of the body. Goes to lymph. If your lymph isn't healthy, we go to the digestive tract for detox. If that's not healthy, then it goes to the liver. They all work together. Then it goes to the liver, and if you have a problem there, then you're to the kidneys, and that puts an enormous amount of stress on the kidneys to filter everything out when the other systems aren't working, and then finally the skin. But as you can see, as you go on down the line, if none of these areas are healthy, if the lymphatic system, digestive tract, liver, kidneys aren't healthy, you're not going to be able to detox. And everything is about getting toxins out of your body, whether it be physiological, emotional, mental, what have you. Next part is the systems of the body. I've went over this before. I will touch on just briefly the microbiome, the gut bacteria. It's everything, It has to do with all kinds of depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, inflammation, emotional issues, mental issues. The gut, the brain, the nervous system, the digestive tract, all communicate with each other. Okay, the microbiome, the thousands of articles are coming out every month about how important this is. It's everything. With an unhealthy microbiome, then you're in for a world of problems. So this is one area I always focus with people, is getting that microbiome built up strong. Any inflammation in the body, because everything has to do with inflammation, especially leaky gut, dysbiosis. That's where all autoimmune disease starts. Everything starts with digestion, dirty blood, adrenal thyroid complex, and the other endocrine glands. But very important to bring down any inflammation in the body. The bile system, like I've said before, extremely important. If you don't have a gallbladder, this is a problem for you. Bile is our body soap. It's where estrogen, toxic estrogens broke down, catechol estrogens, as well as, addressing any type of constipation. Very, very important. A lot of our toxins go out through the bowel. So if you're constipated, and many people are, then you're not detoxifying properly. And this is a big problem. So we work on that as well. The bile system is extremely important. Very underrated. I mean, this is everything. Stomach acid, make sure you're balancing stomach acids. You don't have, overgrowth of bacteria. You can process protein and fats better. Building connective tissue, which is really important as well. 30% of our body is connective tissue. A lot of connective tissue diseases, RA, osteoporosis, lupus, okay? These affect the connective tissue. This is very important to build a strong connective tissue and fascia back up again. Making sure you can absorb your iodine. It's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. So you make sure that you can absorb your fatty acids, fat-soluble, water-soluble vitamins, minerals, very important to make sure you can absorb everything. All the systems work together, man. I can't tell you enough how everything works together as one. Liver health is important. Gallbladder, they take out like 500,000 gallbladders a year, like you don't need it. Same with thyroids. Oh yeah, you just don't need it. There's no extra parts here, man. We don't have extra parts. We didn't evolve for hundreds of thousands of years out on the African savannah to have an extra part. It doesn't work that way, okay? The body knows best. You'll never win the fight over the body, period. Because again, you're running on patterns, and it's the human body. It's an amazing, amazing entity. Blood sugar, making sure blood sugar is balanced. There's a lot to be, pretty much everything there, digestion and blood sugar. Lymphatic system as well. Balancing hormones. You could watch my video on hormones. Basically, hormones are everything. They run the show. If you don't have proper bile, you're not going to be breaking down estrogen properly. And fibromyalgia, that's an estrogen issue. That's why you hardly ever see a guy saying, I have fibromyalgia. I've never heard of a guy having that, because it's an estrogen issue. You're not breaking down estrogen properly. So, fibro meaning muscle of pain, myalgia meaning pain, fiber pain, muscle pain. Adrenal thyroid issues, very important, to work on. We work on that as well as the body. Stress, number one. You could go back and watch my video on stress and illness. Everything. Leading cause of illness is stress related. We weren't made to deal with constant, chronic, long-term drip, drip, drip stress. We weren't made to do that. No other animal or organism deals with that. Physical, chemical, emotional, all three stresses. Very important to address. That's very important. It's just stress is everything. So I teach you how to deal with stress better. It's better stress management. Meditation and breathing exercises, very, very important. Like I always said, you're never going to find a Buddhist monk with any type of autoimmune disease or stress-related issues. Buddhist monk, because they've learned to master the mind. You just won't find it. You can look long and hard and through all the mountains. You'll never find a monk. You're not going to find a monk with diabetes. I'll tell you that. Not a chance. If you do, let me know. Meditation, breathing exercises, very important. Practicing gratitude, gratefulness, love, creativity, volunteering, kindness. These all also will bring your heart and brain back into coherence as well. You don't have to just meet somebody for the first time and be totally in love to have these effects. Enzymes are very important. This is all, everything in the program in Quantum Levels Healing. This is all the stuff that we work on, and and being in proper, where the meditation goes, being in proper brain wave state. You want to kind of always, you want to kind of try to stay in alpha and theta. High range beta is where we're stressed out. That's where most people are, and that's not healthy, because the blood flows back to the hindbrain and you can't think critically. For Wells, another thing has to do with stress. You become stupid when you're highly stressed out. You can't critically think. You just can't. You know, like I said before, if all of a sudden I throw a mean pit bull in front of you and I tell you to solve this math problem here, you're not going to be able to. If I tell you to go ahead and make love or have sex, you're not going to be able to, because everything reverts back to the hindbrain, the reptilian part of the human being. So the forebrain, the frontal cortex, you're not going to be having any type of creative thoughts or love or anything like that. So that's basically what we everything that we do here at Quantum Levels Healing. There's so much more. That's why everybody gets better. We're rebuilding the human being, okay, on all aspects of everything, and then, you know, we bring everything back into balance and back into homeostasis. And, you know, these couple things here are what happens when you bring the body back into homeostasis. The way the system should be running, energy processing properly, everything's flowing properly, absorbing properly. The systems, the pathways, everything is running healthy. There's a reduction in pathology, reduction in bowel irritability, hypertension, heart rate variability is in balance, increased focus, concentration, memory skills, mental dexterity, physical strength, uptake in oxygen production, happiness, joy, overall well-being. This is happy when we do everything here, okay? It's just, you're never going to find this, okay? What I have going on here is a very unique program, because I'm a very unique individual, okay? There's only one Jeff Myers out there. And also the systems that would become in balance, that would become back in balance, that run in the subconscious mind, that you don't even have to do, you don't even have to think about. Fluid levels, body temperature, pH levels, blood sugar balance, electrolyte balance, digestive tract, immune system, nervous system, lymphatic system, stomach acid, bile production in balance, gene expression, because, you know, genes through epigenetics the genes turn on and off depending on the environment. If you're highly stressed all the time, that's going to cause genes to, you're going to down-regulate healthy genes and up-regulate genes for disease, just so you know. Hormone balance, breathing, healthy microbiome, connective tissue, proper absorption, like I said, of vitamins and minerals, improved circulatory system, improved endocrine system, which is your glands, neurotransmitters, hormones. The muscular system, you know, we have our musculoskeletal system. That's pretty important too. That's what holds us together. A bag of bones. The exocrine system, skin, hair, nails, very, very important. Respiratory system, very important. The renal system, which is kidneys, the excretory system, you know, just to name a few. Okay, these are what comes back into balance, and this is everything that happens when I work with you at Quantum Levels Healing Academy of Sciences. This is everything that happens. So, you know, this is how things work, folks. All right. I mean, if you're sick and you have something wrong or some kind of problem, or, you know, and I believe we're almost up to 130 million autoimmune diseases in the U.S. 1997, it was 9 million. 9 to 130 in 22 years or 23 years is obviously a problem. If you're going to the doctor and you're still seeing the medical model for your long-term chronic degenerative disease, one of over 100 diagnosed autoimmune diseases, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. The medical model is good for infectious disease, heroic surgery. Sometimes you need antibiotics and painkillers here and there, but not for long-term chronic these autoimmune diseases that seem to have plagued human beings, you know. So quantumlevelshealing.com, you can reach me there. Hell, I don't even know if anybody's going to be watching this stuff, but you should. But there's going to come a time where you're going to look back and say, I remember when that Jeffrey Scott Myers was making these videos, and now look at him, one of the leaders, worldwide leaders on health and healing. It's only a matter of time before that's coming, and it's coming. Believe me, it's there's no way it can't. So, okay, I hope you learned a little something, and hopefully I'll hear from you.